Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is NetDimensions, the presentation on NetDimensions LMS Cools. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I know it's quite busy and noisy out there, so we're going to do our best. I hope you can hear us. My name is Carrie Hancock. I'm the Director of Global Sales of NetDimensions. And
my name's, can you all hear me, by the way? Okay. That's a bit weird. So my name's Zaheer. I'm a senior pre-sales solution global, and I'm based in Canada. And we're basically going to cover the system. I'll be logging in live to show you some examples of the cool features.
So first, just a little bit of background for those of you that aren't familiar with NetDimensions. So NetDimensions has been around since 1999, so we're definitely not new to the market. We were actually designed for a high consequence, high compliance clients. So we were founded on compliance, and we continue to improve our product for compliance features. So much of what you're going to see today has to do with organizations that have compliance requirements, certification, users, multiple assignments, different things that are going to be really important to you in that industry. So, learning. So much of the landscape has changed over the last, I've been in this for 20 years. So the landscape has changed. We've gone from learning, expanded out to talent, but NetDimensions the whole time is focused on learning. Core learning has been the focus of our business, and it remains the focus of our business. Now, as a company, we're now a part, and have been for quite some time, a part of the Learning Technologies Group. So you'll see LTG in the middle, and then there's our sister companies that are all around. So variety of things. I know most of you are probably familiar with Rustici, that's SCORM Player, SCORM Cloud. We got Preloaded, Gomo's authoring tool, NetDimensions is the LMS, and our most recent acquisition as of last Friday is PeopleFluent. So they're now a member of the LTG family's sister company of ours as well.
And we have the Gomo booth and the Leo booth right behind, and NetDimensions booths right here.
So NetDimensions has two hosting options. So something that separates us from many of the other vendors out there is we do offer a cloud solution, but it's a single tenant cloud solution. So for those of you that aren't familiar, what that means is we offer each of our clients a separate instance. So within that instance, you can have logical domains and roles and permissions to be a global organization, but you have your own separate instance. A multi-tenant environment has everybody else on a similar instance, and they push out upgrades and updates at the same time. We don't. Our clients allow and are allowed to do their upgrades and updates when they're ready. So anybody in a high compliance, life sciences, anybody that have auditors, you want to update and upgrade when you're ready. You don't want to be told when you're going to upgrade. So that's something that we offer to our clients. Okay, so the things that we're going to go through today, and I'll just kind of run through those, and then Allie's going to jump into the live system because that's what you guys want to see, is what we call our 12 cools. So these are things when we've looked at our system compared to other systems that kind of stand out and separate us as far as features. So one is a visual learning path. We also have multiple assignments when anybody has various roles within an organization. Deadline alerts that are set upon login, different settings behind those. Competency profile, when you can go back in time and look what was going on that particular day in time with competency and training. We have a new enhanced resource planner that's fantastic. We have multi-language handling, not only at the system level, but at the course level and language bundles. Compliance analysis, and of course we have session selection. Allie's going to show you that. That's a wonderful feature. We do offer mobile and offline, but offline on-the-job assessments. And then quick nav. So those are the things that we're going to run through for you this afternoon.
Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is we will log in as different learners in the systems so we can get an idea of what the user experience is. We'll keep it very high level, and the first one that we will be starting with is a learner, Cheryl, in the system. And I got my password wrong. So that's an example of when a learner logs into the system, they land on what we call the visual learning path. The visual learning path. So they can visually find out the requirements. They can see the profile. Now this profile can be job specific, it could be location specific, it could be product specific, project specific, or it could be new hire training. Profiles can be extended out to skills, and then skills can be connected to courses within the system. So to the learner, they can access all of their requirements, all of their training from a page like this, which is what we call the learning path. They even have another option, which is to change the view, which is a horizontal view. Now, to give you an example of what it looks like, what the real life example is, I will log in as a learner, Natasha. Now, when I log in as Natasha, she gets to see on the right-hand side, she is within the company a course designer. She's completed 67% of her training. She's also a new employee, so from an onboarding requirement, she's completed 33%. So if I click on this requirement, she can here from this page find out I need to complete the courses that are in yellow. The client can actually change their own colors. So visually they can enroll, they can launch, they can complete and mark all of the training as completed from this screen itself. Another example is a view like this. If it's part of onboarding, she logs in, she knows exactly what she needs to do during the first week. She can then see the activities that she needs to do during the second week and complete all of her training requirements from that perspective. So this is a very popular approach of taking training within the system, and a lot of our clients use this. So we wanted to start off with our first school within the system as learning paths. A lot of the clients also call this the visual learner journey. You can basically relabel that within the system. The next one is multiple assignments. Now, to define the concept of multiple assignments is you might have a learner, an employee within the company who might have different jobs. He might be on 2 different projects, might be working in 2 different locations, and based on the locations you might have specific training requirements. So we have for today, I've set up a very healthcare specific example. I'll log in as a nurse. That nurse works in hospital B on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then he works on a different hospital on Fridays. Let's see what he gets to see. So I log in here. The nurse lands on the page. We've got branding. They can see their own hospital, the location. They can see the requirements here. And as we saw the learning paths, they can launch and complete the training from this screen. But let's say on a Friday, they are working in a different location. What they would do is they would click on assignments, and the system will ask this user, where are you working today? And if I choose a different location, a couple of things happen. The branding changed and the requirements changed. So the user does not have to log in with 2 different user IDs. It's one user ID and they toggle between assignments. So another example is we've got, let's say, a tankerman who works on vessel A and vessel B. They can actually toggle between the assignments and complete their requirements when they're on specific vessels within the marine industry. So that was the second cool. The third one is we've seen courses that are mandatory, that are required. The system allows you to send email notifications not only to the learner but also to their manager, to their head of compliance. But what we have done is we've added another feature, which is the blocker alert, which means I will log in as Natasha and she has to complete a mandatory course. She's missed a deadline. What would she see? I click on login. The system blocks her access. And the system lets her know that you need to watch the safety training video first. Now there are different ways you can configure this. One is you can let her click on continue and she can carry on with her daily tasks. The second option is the course is going to be locked. So if an auditor comes in, when they run a report, it would say deadline expired. They won't be able to launch the course at all. They're in trouble. The third option is you can pretty much force them to take this course. So even if I click on continue and try to launch any other course, the system will bring me back to this screen saying, Natasha, you need to complete that course first. That's when you'll be able to take anything else within the system. So you're pretty much forcing them to complete a mandatory course within the platform itself. Now, in addition to that, we have another option. So this is, by the way, another example of what the learner page can look like, with some stats, with some details, and summaries. What we can also do is a lot of the times we see a request that the learner needs to be taking a course, but you don't know the schedule of the learner, which means the manager, what they can do is they can enroll the learner in the system, and they can pick their own sessions based on their schedule. So we call it the session selection feature. So in this case, Natasha goes on her courses page. She sees that I have been enrolled in the basics of Microsoft OneNote course, but I have the option to pick up my own session based on my schedule, which is basically allowing the end user more flexibility to pick up their training dates. And this is standard functionality within the system. So that's another cool that we wanted to share and demonstrate. Along with that, any user within the system, if they press the shift key twice, get to see the quick navigation option here. And what they can do is they can type in keywords, and it will allow you to browse from one page to the other. So let's say as a learner, if I want to jump to the learning path, I've typed in path, hit enter, takes me to another page. So you don't really need to use the mouse, or sometimes you don't really know which menu you want to be on. So if I want to find out, okay, I need to be on forums, I can type in, and I can type in forums and hit enter and get access to it. So that's another cool that we have. The next thing that we wanted to show you is, because it's a global system, we have a lot of our global clients who have the entire experience of a learner in their own language based on their location. So I'm going to show you two different examples. The first example is a user who's based, for example, in London. When I log in as Tara, she lands on a home page like this, where all of her menu options are in English. The shortcuts are in English. These cards are in English. What she can also do is access the learning path in English. So this is the experience of a user who's based in London. I will log in as Karina, who is another user based in, she could be based in Montreal or Paris, and she's also a course designer within the same company. Let's see what she sees. So I'm going to go ahead and log out, log in. As Karina, Karina logs in, sees all of her menu options in French, all of the shortcuts are in French, all of the cards are in French, the French language. And also over here, if I click on the learning path is also displayed in French. So not only do we handle languages at the profile level, but we even allow multiple languages at the asset level, at the object level. So you can provide a very personalized experience based on their location within the system. The next one is a view from a supervisor perspective. So what I'll do is I'll log in as a supervisor. So I'm logging in as Fiona. When I log into the system, we have a list of all the users that this supervisor manages. And those colorful boxes that you looked at a little while ago, when I had logged in as Natasha, this is how she gets to see the overall progress. So visually, they can find out whether my team member is compliant or out of compliance with these icons over here. So if it's a red triangle, she's out of compliance. If it's a green check mark, she's completed her training, she's compliant. But what we want to demonstrate on this page is you're looking at the progress of these learners as of today, June 12, 2018. Let's say there was an investigation or an incident that took place last year on August 12th. What I can do as a supervisor is go back in time So I'm picking up August 12, 2017, and I'm clicking on filter. The system will actually go back in time and give you the progress of your team members as of that date in the past. Comes in handy, as I mentioned, for investigations, for performance reviews, for incidents, or when auditors come in, when they would like to find out, I want to see the compliance status of a specific user within the system as of that date. So that's one of the other tools that we wanted to demonstrate today. So if I scroll down here, all of these training progress is of August 12, 2017. So you can go back in time. The next feature is the supervisors are in the system. Let's say they are on the floor and you have one of your employees working on a specific machine. You've got a machine operator. What they can do is they can carry out a supervisor assessment, which is an on-the-job training checklist. What it looks like is something like this, where you can have your own questions. Now you can have these created within the platform itself. You can have your own questions, you can have your own responses. Whether this person demonstrated the technique properly, yes or no. And in addition to that, what they can do is they can even upload a picture or they can upload a video of the actual activity against that question. Now they can take these assessments on the laptop, on a smartphone, or they can download the NetDimensions app, which is available for the Google device, Apple device, and the Microsoft device, and take it in an offline format. What we've also seen is sometimes the supervisors are going to be in an internet sensitive area where they don't allow internet connection at all. You can download these assessments and take them on your iPad in an offline environment. So that's another tool that we wanted to share with you today. Okay. The last two tools that we have, and I'm going to be logging in as an administrator, are two things. One is what we call the compliance analysis and the resource planner. This is what we will be looking at. Compliance analysis allows any user who has the permission to run this report in the system to view your compliance percentage across a course or a curriculum, across your global company or a location, a specific city or a specific department, going all the way down to an individual. So let's see what that experience looks like. So I'm going to choose all my internal users. And we will pick up a compliance curriculum. Now here, when I scroll down and click on Start Analysis, what the system does is immediately scans the transcript of all the learners and immediately tells me, globally right now, 60% of my population is compliant against this mandatory curriculum. What you can also do is click on internal, and a lot depends on how your structure is set up in your HR system. You can get a breakdown by location. So here we can see the Dallas office, no completions, they're not doing a good job. People in Dubai are not doing a good job, 0% compliant. The London office, excellent job, 100%. Sydney office, 100%, but the Toronto office, 80%. So if I click on Toronto, I can see a breakdown by departments. I can see HR, procurement, and sales. Procurement, fantastic. Sales, fantastic. HR, not doing a good job. Now, if I want to find out who those people are, I can click on these and get a drill down of all the people who are not compliant. What you can do is you can select their names here and send them an email directly on spot. Now this is in addition to all of the automated emails that go out. Imagine the power from the compliance coordinator sending emails directly from the screen to those people who are out of compliance. What you can also do is go down to the individual level and see Cheryl is at 0%, but 67% progress because she's completed 2 courses and the 3rd course is missing. The 3rd course that's missing is risk management. So the compliance analysis feature lets you drill down to this level from the global view, which is another tool that we wanted to share today with everyone. And then the last one that we have is a resource planner. Now this is an integrated calendar if you plan courses within the LMS. Now you can use this to plan seminars, workshops, classroom courses. The system will ask you to pick up your training rooms because you can even set up rooms within your system. You can set up instructors within the system and resources. If you don't want to pick them up every time, what you can do is you can pick up your presets. So what I can do is go back the resource planner and pick up a training room here, a training room here, and I'm going to pick up 2 instructors. And I'm picking up all of the resources because I'd like to use that within my class. And when I click on apply, what happens is it gives me an integrated calendar. It tells me the schedule. What you can do is you can actually, from here, pin the resources that I need my next class in Toronto Room A. Carrie's available, and I need to pick up a Microsoft Surface book on the 13th. The system will ask me, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to create a session? Are you trying to create a personal event? Are you trying to create a booking or a resource booking? So I'm going to go ahead and click on continue because I need a session. And because I have the module already in the system, I'm going to pick up Microsoft Excel, choose a date such as June 13, 2018, and the class starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, ends at 5. Gives me all of my resources. I click on book, and I've booked my resource right there. What you can also do is, let's say after the class has been planned, there's been a change in the schedule. The instructor's not going to be available, let's say, on the 15th. What you can do is you can drag and drop the entire class on the 14th, and the system will tell you if there are conflicts available. So right now there's no conflict in the training room, there's no conflict for the resource, but the instructor is not available. So the resource planner lets you get all of the integrated information on one screen when you want to plan these courses. And this can be integrated with Microsoft Exchange servers, so you can push information out to your Exchange server and pull information in from the Exchange server. And because I am the administrator, I have the ability to override that. I can click on book, and you'll notice that the system shows me there's a conflict. So the resource planning is dynamic within the system with a few clicks. So that was my last tool within the LMS platform. And I thank everyone for attending today. Thank you. If you've got, sorry, I need it back. If you've got any questions about the platform, we've got our booth right here, NetDimensions, so you can please visit us and we can help you with any questions. Thank you.